Persona is kind of talked to death now, isn't it? Well, at least certain entries are anyway. I wanted to challenge myself to make a video on the most pivotal Persona moments that didn't involve this, that, or this. I'm gonna do my damnedest to give these moments their flowers. They're moments that you definitely know about, but in my opinion, don't get flowers the way they should. My opuses. Let's dive right in.
Beyond the shadow of a doubt.
You know, it's always super easy to remember these climaxes or even bombastic introductions to games. Flash and showmanship are great fun and definitely can be effective as a hook, but they are certainly not the end-all be-all to making a moment legendary or even defining. No, not at all. Sometimes a moment can just know when to play it calm. After all, at times quietness or even silence can pierce louder than anything else. In Persona 1 there's a particularly difficult sequence in which you and Maki are put through a trial to navigate Alaya Cavern. By this point in your adventure, you've gotten comfortable boasting your 5-party member limit, and for most battles you've likely locked down a couple of strategies and formations to make things smooth. However, the game chooses to put you on the back foot, and given the music and the dark, almost emerald feeling atmosphere, the surroundings are pretty foreboding, with the ludicrous encounter rate doing no favors for you. Your dread sets in as you trek onward. After a hellish gauntlet of 8 floors, you go through these otherworldly looking doors, and there you're greeted by you? Seeing this huge arcade cabinet in the middle of this fuck-ass hellhole immediately lends the air some levity, but the contrast is captivating enough that you really can't look away. What follows next is a truly special sequence, where the game gives you this sort of cutscene focused option select check. Its purpose being to show you the player that you've made the prerequisites to proceed onward to the game's true ending. If you've played through the game Chrono Trigger, you'll be familiar with an incredibly iconic trial sequence, during which the game puts you on trial for behaviors you've exhibited during the Millennium Festival. A brilliant sequence that was the first of its kind, launching a full year before Persona 1. However, be it through inspiration or coincidence, Atlus executed basically the same thing, except I would argue here it's even more potent. This moment is the first time in the series the player gets to interact with the player protagonist's shadow. The first time we got to see the series tackle a shadow that addresses us, the player, directly. What's shown to us is our true self guiding us through all of our past decisions, the decisions we made to get us to the point we are now. Every time you could have been a dick or a douche, it shows that you went the extra mile instead to help others and engage everyone. That rather than just rushing your progression thoughtlessly, you, the player, took a more considered approach. You weren't aloof and careless, you went the extra mile. Persona 1 in many ways feels primitive, in countless ways I'd say. But for every primitive design choice, there's always something in its presentation that was far ahead of its time. It planted so many seeds that would be reaped in the decades to come. But even aside what was set up in the future, Persona 1 has plenty of things that still hold the experience up on its own. And the game does in fact carry legendary status for those who dare to rise up to the challenge of interfacing with it. Go play it, seriously.
Crystal clear.
We are going to start with the moment that sets the standard for Persona climaxes to be nothing short of legendary. The summoning of Izanagi no Okami, or better yet, the casting of Myriad Truths, is so iconic because in rapid succession it executes perfectly on every single element modern Persona excels at. The weight of Persona 3's ending is immensely heavy, the climax of Persona 5 is incredible. The thing that sets Persona 4's climax apart is that everything is married together in a holy union of just perfection. Get this, after a grueling battle, you're casted into a space with ethereal fog. With your quota for the battle being filled, you're left with no items, no attacks or commands, but with something more powerful. That something more powerful being your bonds. These bonds, you've manually as the player, have put countless of hours into at this point. By the time you've completed a lot of them, Inaba is just so cozy and its inhabitants are just so warm that you feel like they're more or less your friends. And the only reason you're capable enough to reach this point in the game is because of these friends. Within the fog, pretty much the whole squad is here, and if you've taken your time to meet everyone, you're rewarded with even more words of motivation, giving what happens next an immeasurable amount of weight. Your main persona, Izanagi, takes a new form. His more imposing, gritty, and cold steel design sheds, and becomes a majestic, heavenly looking variant. It's familiar, but awesome. Seriously, I'm just going to take a moment as a group. We just got to acknowledge that how of all the Neo Persona titles, Izanagi no Okami is the only awakened persona to retain most of the core visual identity that it's adorned from the beginning. A lot of times, the personas just become an entirely different deity or whatever. It's all sick, but this is just a little more personal. We glimpse at this form for only a moment before being sent back to a battleground up above, where we evade a spell that doomed us in the first place. So I guess things are looking good when all of a sudden we just get completely wailed on. An onslaught of max damage attacks just crushing us. But at this point, we absolutely cannot go down. All of a sudden, there it is, the ultimate skill to vanquish the fog and dispel all deceit. No longer needing them, the glasses come off. And then... this moment is a catharsis. I would even argue it's catharsis incarnate. Not to mention it's also flat out iconic. Across the board iconic. I mean, this sequence is so legendary, the attack is everywhere. The anime handles it even better in some ways as to the game. The dialogue just from the anime is basically in every subsequent reuse of the move. And it comes with a package of free fucking killer vocal performance from Johnny on Bosch. Not only does it carry P5 babies through its game, but no one's safe from ducking myriad truths. Be it Izanami, any enemy in Persona 5, the entire P3 cast, or even Ragna the motherfucking Blood Edge. Ruby Rose is just collateral.
Now you're done for. Thousands died, but tens of thousands are born in their place. Meet your maker! The fog is lifted.
Absolutely legendary.
Our first rodeo.
Persona 5 is riddled with moments that are incredible. These moments will stick with me and countless other players forever. I fought with myself for a while now on what moment would occupy this entry, and I finally settled on what I believe, no, what is the most defining moment of Persona 5.
What's with this weird logo? And who are these Phantom Thieves of Hearts people? It got everyone excited, so it's all good, yeah?
Who's responsible for this?
Look at that. A predictable reaction for someone who knows what we mean by distorted desires.
I think it's hitting him pretty hard.
Did you do this, or was it you? Was it you two? What garbage. It's not a problem. You'll be expelled soon enough anyway. Come, steal it if you can.
This act may be the single most cathartic in the entire franchise. If you're watching this video, I hardly need to get into the ridiculously strong introduction of Persona 5. Seeing this absolute dirtbag get his head pushed face first into a pile of heaping, steamy shit, after all he's put everyone through, is the very core of Persona 5's rebellious pull. You've played the mouse for weeks, navigating, learning, and planning, and now your efforts in gameplay have led you into being able to alter this hopeless tale into the beginning of the Phantom Thieves' legacy. You bust down those palace doors and you're greeted with life will change for the first time. My god, if I could go back to any moment in any game, it would probably be that to experience for the first time ever fresh. Chills. Chills. And different to a lot of the other exciting moments in the franchise, it's just a straight up blood pumper. Like nothing else in the franchise thus far has really gotten that much energy, you know? I went on a tangent about how definitive and legendary sequences don't need to be bombastic, but I won't even pretend a little bit that I'm not partial to them. Let me see your metal horns up for Persona 5.
Let's meet on the other side.
I have a question for you. In 1999, what company dared to have an ending anything like Persona 2's? This entry I approached with a lot of hesitancy. You see, Persona 2 and 1 aren't as talked on as much as their successors, but I suppose I've already spoiled Persona 1 to high hell multiple times, so I can't feel too bad here, even though this does feel a little bit different. Basically, well, there's not much to be said. You lose. You find that you've been playing in the hand of the devil's game. You pour so many hours into this adventure, and I want to be clear here. I'm gonna be honest about something. I'm not the craziest about Persona 2. In fact, Innocent Sin is my least favorite mainline entry in the entire series. And I don't mean that as an attack for those who enjoy it. But my general indifference to the game, I mentioned to emphasize something. This moment is incredible. At the end of the day, the cast is rock solid. And no matter how you feel about them or the game and the adventure as a whole, you're naturally going to end up rooting for them if you spend so much time with them. This game isn't very short. I had the privilege of going into this game without knowing the conclusion to the story. And yeah, it's shocking. I thought I had left the experience with a ridiculous Persona game that just goes absolutely nuts, but I couldn't have foreseen the absolute tonal pivot shift that the ending really had. It really hurt that not only did we have to see the world get destroyed moments before, but we had to see a whole timeline reset. These bonds that had been forged over the adventure completely set back to zero. Seeing all these characters tear up and, say their goodbyes is pretty heartbreaking and honestly completely removed me from my indifference. My indifference towards the former part of the adventure anyway. I almost felt like I was playing a completely different game. Rather than ending in complete tragedy, it ends on more of melancholy. With the options exhausted from all of the characters, there's only one thing left to do. And it's only something you could really say. They promise to meet on the other side, and that's just beautiful. I'm so grateful for this channel. It's small right now, but it's given me an outlet into being able to talk about whatever I want to you. In particular, I want to thank a lot of the other Persona community members because talking with you guys for the last few months has been nothing but short of a blast. This part is super unscripted and I hope you guys will stick around for more to come in the future. And if you're not subbed, well, to sub. The next video is going to be a big one, so I really hope to see you guys there. Until next time.